Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Yeah.
Today we're plunging into a topic that weaves through nearly every aspect of human civilization. Our incredibly complex relationship with animals. We've pulled together a fascinating collection of sources that will challenge you, I think, to think about everything from what we choose to eat
Right.
to the entertainment we seek out.
It's truly a journey, isn't it? Into the myriad ways humanity interacts with the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
From the deeply personal to the broad global ethical dilemmas. Our mission in this deep dive is to unearth these varied perspectives and really grapple with where societies draw lines.
And maybe where they don't draw them.
Exactly. Or perhaps more interestingly, where those lines blur or even disappear.
Absolutely. You might feel like you know exactly where you stand on these issues, but our sources reveal just how many surprising layers there are.
To the world of animal rights and human responsibility.
Let's dig in. So right out of the gate, our sources challenge us, really, to consider the sheer breadth of how humans engage with animals.
Yeah.
The very first category, perhaps the most fundamental, is simply we eat them.
Indeed. And it's not just about the familiar things like beef or chicken.
No.
The material asks us to consider the vast diversity of what's consumed globally. Beyond typical beef, fish, or chicken, it asks, have you considered or would you consider eating horse, ostrich, dog?
Eel, snake,
Even insects.
insects. The sources provide some pretty vivid examples here.
They really do.
Deep-fried tarantula from South Africa.
Yeah.
Chocolate-dipped scorpion from Burma.
Wow.
Grasshopper marinated in soy sauce from Colombia. Deep-fried ants from Japan.
Okay.
Cockroach kebab from Cambodia. And even termites fried in tomato from California.
It really broadens the conventional definition of food for many people, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
And what's striking is how quickly the discussion shifts from food to other significant uses, like animals in research.
Well, that comes up next.
The sources extensively highlight this. We learn about monkeys from Shamrock Monkey Farm in Henfield, West Sussex, used for polio vaccine development back in the 1950s and more recently for other diseases.
But this practice, it faced strong disapproval, didn't it?
It did, from animal rights leader Justin Hodge. Eventually, it led to the farm's closure.
So that immediately brings up the tension, between human benefit and animal welfare.
Precisely.
And then there's the whole arena of entertainment.
Ah, yes.
You see the world-famous Rafferty's Circus advertised, performing dogs, Terry the Tiger Tamer,
Jumbo the Amazing Counting Elephant.
and the famous horses of Hindustan. It sounds quite traditional, almost.
It does, but it's not just circuses. The sources also mention horse racing, dog racing,
Bullfights, show jumping,
jog shows, fox hunts, cockfights.
performing bears or monkeys, pheasant shoots. It's a huge spectrum.
It really is, from what some see as professional sport to something, well, more primal.
Right, and alongside these, the sources present animals as companions.
Yes, like in an ad for Springer Spaniel puppies. A familiar role for many.
But even companionship isn't simple, according to these texts.
No, it prompts us to ask, is it truly okay to keep animals like parrots, rabbits, monkeys, tropical fish, or terrapins as pets?
Especially if it involves keeping them in a cage.
Exactly. It raises questions about what companionship truly means for the animal itself.
And finally, products.
The things we make from animals.
Our sources prompt us to think about wearing leather shoes, for instance, or owning items made from animal fur.
And whether there's an ethical distinction between those. Is fur different from leather?
That's the question posed. And then there's the specific, quite stark case of sea turtles.
Yes, that was quite detailed. Valuable to poachers and illegal traders.
Their meat a delicacy, shells used for jewelry.
Body oil for cosmetics.
And the sources say thousands are killed annually in Mexico alone, then exported to Japan.
Pushing 3 species dangerously close to extinction.
It really lays out the direct impact of our consumption choices, doesn't it?
It certainly does, very clearly. So this extensive overview of human-animal interactions leads us directly to the core challenge. Where do we draw the line?
Right. As individuals, as societies, where's the boundary?
And the sources offer a compelling array of strong, often conflicting opinions on this.
This is where it gets really, really thought-provoking. For instance, one viewpoint argues that horse racing and dog racing,
Yeah.
they should be banned entirely.
Okay, and the reasoning.
Because they're not seen as useful activities.
Yeah.
Just avenues for gambling.
I see. But then on the flip side.
Yeah, completely opposite view.
Yeah.
An argument that sports, where one animal fights another, like cockfighting or dogfighting.
Which are illegal in many places.
Right. But this argument says they should actually be legal.
And why is that?
The reasoning given is, well, these animals, they claim, fight in the wild anyway.
That's quite a justification.
It is. This dichotomy immediately forces you to consider the underlying motivations, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Is it about perceived utility or about some idea of an animal's inherent nature? Or something else entirely?
When is human intervention okay, and when does it become exploitation?
Exactly. We see this tension also playing out with hunting.
Fox hunting, for example.
Right. It's described in one source as a form of pest control.
The argument being, nobody worries about killing rats.
Right. Pretty much. And if people want to dress up and have a party afterwards, well, that's their business.
It frames the animal purely as a nuisance or a means for human leisure.
Yes. But contrast that with pheasant shooting.
Okay, what about that?
The sources highlight that 36 million pheasants were bred in Britain last year, specifically for the shooting season.
36 million.
Wow. Yeah. But here's the point made. Hunters apparently don't eat most of the dead birds.
So what happens to them?
They're buried in specially dug holes.
Buried.
That's what the source says. And this practice is vehemently called a disgrace and something that should be stopped immediately.
So here the critique isn't about pest control, obviously. It's about wastefulness.
Perceived wastefulness, and maybe the idea of it being purely for sport with no other justification.
Interesting contrast.
The sources also tackle performing animals in circuses. One perspective states it's unacceptable these days.
Reflecting changing attitudes, maybe.
Seems likely. Yet show jumping, while disliked by many according to the source, is differentiated.
How so?
It's seen perhaps as less about a performance in the circus sense and more about partnership or skill, though still controversial for some.
And dog shows, they get mentioned too.
They do, singled out with the view that they humiliate dogs.
Humiliate. Strong word.
Very. And the quote continues, "Nothing more offensive than seeing some of these dogs being shampooed and treated as if they were children."
Okay, so these examples really highlight the varied criteria people use, don't they?
Yeah.
Judging animal interactions based on dignity or usefulness or naturalness.
Exactly. It's all over the map.
And then there's this rather direct and uncompromising opinion from the sources. It really forces you to confront your own boundaries.
Which one is this?
It says, let's get this straight. Animals have no rights at all.
Okay. Blunt.
Very. It goes on. I don't mean we should be cruel to them for no reason. I need animals. I wear animals. I depend on drugs which have been tested on them.
Right, laying out the dependencies.
I mean, if testing medicines on animals helps to save human lives, I think that's fine.
A common justification.
And I've got no problems with testing cosmetics on them either.
Cosmetics too. That's often more contentious.
I mean, if I use an aftershave or a deodorant, I want to know that it's safe. I'd rather a rabbit went blind, not me.
Wow, that really cuts through any nuance, doesn't it?
It does. It lays bare a purely anthropocentric view. Human needs, human safety, unequivocally trump any animal considerations. Full stop.
Yeah, that's stark. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, these sources really underscore how deeply cultural norms influence our perceptions.
Right, especially around animal treatment and consumption. What's considered unusual food, for example.
What one culture sees as perfectly normal, another might find completely, well, abhorrent.
You see this vividly, for example, in the discussion the sources bring up around dog meat consumption.
Ah, yes, the South Korea example.
Right. Sepp Blatter, who was president of FIFA then, urged the South Korean Football Association to be sensitive to foreign feelings and remove dog from the menu during the World Cup.
Which is a clear attempt, really, to impose one cultural standard onto another in a global spotlight.
And what's fascinating here is this strong response this elicited.
Brigitte Bardot, the French actress and animal rights activist.
Yeah, she expressed outrage, urged the World Cup to lead a campaign against eating dog.
But then you had the counter-argument
From a Korean politician stating that, and I quote, "Foreign criticism of dog meat reflects lack of understanding of our nation's ancient culture."
So it's not just a simple disagreement about animal welfare.
No, it's a clash, isn't it? Between a kind of universal animal welfare advocacy.
And the deeply rooted principle of cultural sovereignty and tradition. Who gets to decide?
So what does this all mean for us, looking at this? This example powerfully illustrates a fundamental tension.
Where does global advocacy for animals intersect or maybe collide with local traditions?
It makes you wonder who has the right to intervene in the deeply ingrained eating habits or practices of another nation.
And on what grounds? It highlights that there are just no easy answers when universal ethics meet cultural relativism.
Definitely not. And finally, our sources even delve into something maybe more subtle, the role of language.
Ah, how we talk about food.
Exactly, how we describe it. It offers a list of adjectives. Fatty, tough, delicious, disgusting, sweet, bitter.
Spicy, inedible, mouth-watering, sour.
Bland, oily, tasteless. Just a list of descriptive words.
But this seemingly simple section, it implicitly asks us to consider how our vocabulary reflects and maybe reinforces our perceptions.
Of different foods and, by extension, different animals.
Precisely. Why do we describe some foods as delicious and others, which are consumed by millions elsewhere, as inedible or disgusting?
It hints at the psychological distance, maybe, that we create between the living animal and the food on our plate.
Yeah, suggesting that language isn't just descriptive, it actively shapes our comfort levels, our ethical boundaries.
That's a really interesting point, the power of words. So after all this, what does this deep dive into human-animal relationships ultimately mean for you, the listener?
Well, it seems it's much more than just a simple debate about right or wrong.
No, it's an exploration of this immense spectrum of interactions and the incredibly complex, often contradictory ethical frameworks people use to navigate them.
It clearly illustrates the intricate web of culture, utility, entertainment, ethics, all defining our interactions with animals. And the discussions in these sources, they really challenge us to question our own assumptions.
And to grasp the sheer diversity of perspectives that exist globally.
Absolutely.
It certainly gives you a lot to chew on.
It does.
From farm closures to circus acts, from the food on our plates to the shoes on our feet. This deep dive reveals that our relationship with animals is rarely simple.
And constantly evolving, it seems.
Indeed.
Which I suppose raises an important final question for you to consider. When it comes to our interactions with animals, how much of your own perspective is truly universal? And how much is profoundly shaped by the unique culture, the specific time, and the particular place in which you live?